Greetings, Guardians! So, some of you are asking what you should be doing to help get your Age of Triumphs completed faster. What is the stuff that I can do now to help me prepare for that? And guys, it's a really good question. Now, obviously, some of this stuff is retroactive, but other stuff you're actually going to have to need to do when the book comes out. So what can you do now, and what's the best way about going through and doing stuff? Well, let's just jump straight into it. So obviously the first thing, guys, that you need to know is that when the 28th happens, the first thing everybody will want to do is go to the speaker. The reason why, guys, is because at the end of the day, he is actually going to have a quest for you. And that is going to basically kick everything off. So as soon as that new DLC drops, run to the speaker, grab that quest line, and you can start doing that. Second thing, guys, is there is actually a mark in the book for getting 5,000 Gilmore score. Now, you're probably sitting there thinking, holy shit, 5,000. Yes, guys, it is a lot. I am still not at 5,000 myself. Believe it or not, at 4,995. Damn you! But at the end of the day, it does take a lot to do. I realise that. So the easiest way to go about fixing that, guys, is basically head to Destiny Tracker, shut down all the stuff that you haven't done, or just leave it running on the computer if you got it next to you, and basically go through and check everything off. That's the easiest way to do it, and by doing that you will also get some of these other things done as well. Also, by doing some of these other stuff I'm going to mention, it will also help your Grimoire score as well. So just basically doing stuff that you haven't already done. The next thing, guys, is there is the 130 ghosts that you do need to collect. This is one of the things I was talking about when I was saying that it'll help with your Grimoire score, because I believe a ghost is worth about 5 for Grimoire score. So by going through and collecting 130 of them, that's going to give you some decent points for that Grimoire. So go run. If you haven't got any ghosts or anything like that, please go through, do that, use Destiny Tracker, and that will let you know which ones you need. Believe it or not, there was one I didn't even realise I didn't have. So I'm going to go and try and do that later, which will give me my 5,000 points. See how it works. 25 calcified fragments and 45 calcified fragments and 25 Siva clusters. Alright, so thank God we don't have to go through and get every Siva cluster, because if I had to try and climb that mountain one more time, I'm going to lose my shit. Guys, apart from that, 45 calcified fragments, obviously from the King's Fall raid. Most of you will already have that as it is because of Touch of Malice, but if you don't, please feel free to go through and collect those. If you don't know where they are, you can look it up online, or when you're doing the King's Fall raid, just ask the guys. Everybody knows where they are, so someone can help you with that. Vault space. Guys, if you are running out of room at the moment for your vault space, I would be clearing stuff that you don't necessarily want. Obviously, try and keep the stuff that you do want. This, like the old gear, the old raid gear and everything like that if you're a collector. But if you got triple, 1,000-yard stairs, then maybe delete 2. The reason why I'm saying vault space, guys, is because at the end of the day, you're going to need extra room. There is going to be, quote, a shit ton of stuff dropping. So at the end of the day, the last thing you want to do is get your postmaster full and then start losing stuff. Lander's Cry. Now, guys, this is the special sparrow that you actually get while you're in the... I believe it actually starts with the Bannerfall quests, and then you actually get it from going into the tower. It's not complicated. It's pretty easy. I'll put a photo, or I'll put a link up on the screen here in annotation so you can go and check that video out to let you know how to get that. But guys, that is actually something that you do need to do for the book as one of the check marks. So something you can go and do now, and it's not a bad sparrow. It's okay. Level 25 on all fractions, Vanguard, Crucible, and Cryptar. Okay, so I know a lot of you are thinking, holy shit, level 25. I know it's a grind. Trust me, I know. But guys, if you hit over level 25 on one of your Vanguard, maybe it's time to start putting some in the extra fractions. Maybe moving or changing your allegiances or whatnot. Do keep in mind that this will also give you new gear, well, obviously once you get past level rank 3, and that'll help you level up too. So if you're not 390 or above at the moment, which obviously you don't need to do, don't worry, but if you're not 390 or above at the moment and you want to do the raids the night they drop, then obviously this will help level you up. Now just going back to the fractions for a quick second, guys, if you are struggling to level them up, don't be afraid to give some motes of light for reputation. Now I'm not going to suggest you go through and farm materials to give them. That would be absolutely painful, but at the end of the day, if you have a few motes of light laying around and you're not using them, don't be afraid to throw that into your reputation, and that'll help rank up those to level 25. Do keep in mind though, that said, you want to keep keeping some of them on you, because with the new gear you want to go leveling it up, using your motes to level that up so that you get the full perk tree and not have to worry about working those if you need to. Also, if you've got 3 characters, don't be afraid to go through and getting your higher character to decrypt your engrams. I know it's a little bit of a cheat, but the higher character will get the higher drops, and then you can just pass it back to the other character, and that should help level you up as well. Storybook quest lines. Guys, all the quest lines need to be done for the checkmark in the book. So if there is any left over that you haven't already done, please go through and do those things. Just get them over and done with. I know it's painful, especially if you've got 3 characters, but that'll allow you to go through and get all those checked off. So then obviously it'll be something less for you to do. Considering that this book is going to be the biggest book they've ever produced, I think it was like 14 pages, I think, from memory, then it's going to be a lot for you to do. The last thing you want to do is get bogged down with stuff that you can do now. Subclass quests. Guys, this is something you can do that's retroactive as well. Now keep in mind with your Titans, it is the Striking Fist, Armored Void, Flame Forged. With your Warlocks, it's Voidmaster, Song for the Sun, and Fulmintor. And with your Hunter, it's Handful of Bullets, Severed Lightning, and Drawn from the Void. Now those guys will give you this subclass for those characters, and that will actually give you a check in the book as well. I know they're pretty long and detailed, but it does give you a pretty good subclass artifact as well, so it might be worthwhile going through and getting those done now, and then you can use those when you level up. Now also guys, like I say, there is a 75 ships, 100 shaders, 35 sparrows, and 120 emblems. And in case you're thinking, holy fuck, yeah guys, it is a lot, I will admit. But on the bright side, if you've been playing for a few years now, chances are you're going to have most of this already done. However, if you are running a little bit short, you can go through and actually buy ships, emblems and whatnot from the tower. They don't have to be legendary or anything like that as far as I'm aware. You can just buy them from her or from the kiosk or from the vendors, and that will actually check that off. 55 exotic weapons and 49 armor pieces. If there is anything that you are missing at the moment, obviously for armor or for weapons, then obviously you can go through, Google that shit, video, YouTube it, and find out how to get those exotics, and that'll be one less thing you have to worry about tracking down on the day as well. Now the last retroactive thing you guys can do is complete 9 raid challenges. And in case you're sitting there scratching your head saying, oh, there's only 5, I know, there is going to be another 4 that come out with the DLC. But that doesn't necessarily mean you can't do those other 5 already. So guys, basically the 5 that you need to do is there's 3 for the Taken King and there's 2 for Wrath of the Machine. That gives you the 5, and then the new 4 ones will give you the 9. So another question I also get is about leveling up and what level you need to be, etc. Guys, to be honest, you don't really need to be 390 and above unless you're going to start doing the raids on that first day. Do keep in mind that some of the events have been weighted so that you can build your level up. So for example, Prisoner of Elders, Nightfalls, etc, etc, etc. There's different light levels for different levels so that you can sort of work your way up a little bit. That said guys, if you do want to do the raids the first day they drop, obviously then you want to be 390 or above. or possibly 400, as high as you can get, because I imagine people on LFG are going to be like 400 plus, because they don't want to waste time. Don't ask me, another video for that. Apart from that, guys, our storing engrams and stuff like that doesn't really make any difference because the light level is not changing. Although that said, if you've got some exotic engrams and you already have all of them, you've already got that 49 and 55, then at the end of the day, it probably wouldn't hurt to throw it in your vaults, because that way you can go through and decode it when you're the higher light level. As I said before, also, if you do have a character that is higher than everybody else, please feel free to give those exotic engrams to that character to decrypt, because that will give that weapon at that higher light, and then you can pass it back to the other character if you need be. Apart from that, guys, you can start saving your legendary marks and also saving your glimmer, just because of the fact that if you need to level anything up, or if you want to buy some new equipment when it comes out, that'll obviously give you some of the stuff in the bank. Now, guys, if you're already at 200 for your legendary marks, you can also buy some equipment, like you need a chest piece or boots or gloves. You can buy those from the Vanguard and then obviously go through and get some more marks from doing the Nightfall or for doing the Crucible weeklies. That'll obviously help restock that. So if you're tapping out at your legendary marks already, it's kind of silly to keep going through and not spending them if you can simply recoup them pretty easily. Apart from that, guys, there isn't else a lot that you need to do. Like I say, light level's not changing, so you don't need to hoard any of your engrams or anything like that. I would just be simply going through leveling up your fractions, which is probably the biggest thing that's going to stuff everybody up, and then go through and obviously get those stories, the ghosts, and everything else I've mentioned. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up in the comment section below. If you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. And apart from that, guys, I'll see you playing Destiny. Have a great day and enjoy.